2000 was a wild year in the WWF. I mean, it was in the middle of the Attitude Era. In late 99, you had Stone Cold get hit with a car, Triple H and Mick Foley killed each other, Austin blew up the DX Express, and then later almost killed Triple H with a forklift, all while The Rock was having his best year yet, and so much more. Basically, everyone had beef with everyone, but at the end of the day, everyone just wanted one thing, and that was the WWF Championship. So all hell was breaking loose and it was getting out of control, and then Mick Foley, the WWF commissioner, came out and simply said it was all going to come to an end because 6 men will fight for the WWF Championship. Not just any 6 men, don't worry, it was going to be X-Pac versus Billy Gunn or something, but no, 5 of the biggest stars of the Attitude Era, 5 of the greatest of all time, and Lizzo, Rikishi. So on SmackDown, Commissioner Foley just said fuck it. He was going to make 5 #1 contenders. First, he announces The Rock, and the People's Champion comes out and the crowd goes insane. The Rock does not need an introduction, but my dumbass will give him one anyway. So in 2000, The Rock became the #1 guy, and he held it down for the WWF. He lost the WWF Championship a few months ago, and now it was time for him to get his belt back. And he also had beef with Rikishi, who he had just beat at Survivor Series. So The Rock tells Foley it doesn't matter if it's 1 contender or 20, he's going to beat everyone's ass. Foley then tells The Rock the second contender is going to be the man who was screwed out of the title at Survivor Series, The Undertaker, the American badass who was ready to kill everyone and anything in his way, especially the champion, as at Survivor Series he was like 0.1 second away. Taker comes out and he just tells Foley straight up that he is down for anything. Foley then announces the third contender, none other than Stone Cold Steve Austin. So Austin dominated 98 and 99, but then an injury forced him to miss an entire year of action. Kayfabe wise, he was hit by a car at Survivor Series, and now he was back for revenge because the 2 people responsible also ended up in this match. And of course, the Rattlesnake wants to be the WWF champion once again. Foley then announces Rikishi. Now you were probably wondering why in the blue hell is Rikishi in this match, but Rikishi at this point was the one who hit Stone Cold with the car, and he said,
"I did it for The Rock."
Rikishi said that his reasoning was because Samoan people had been held back in the WWF, but he saw an opportunity to clear the path for The Rock to become the champion, so he did what was right for his people. Sadly for him, The Rock felt that he did not need Rikishi's help and beat his fat ass anyway. And then the final contender, Triple H. So Triple H in 2000 became the top heel in the company and dominated the year. He did it all in 2000. He beat Foley, won the main event of WrestleMania, and so on. He was the one who got Stone Cold hit by the car last year, so now he was out to end Stone Cold's career for good, all while becoming the WWF champion. 2 birds in 1 stone. So Rock, Triple H, Undertaker, Stone Cold, and Rikishi. And then it was time for the champion to come out, the Olympic gold medalist, Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle debuted in November of 99, so he was just 1 month removed from his rookie year, and Kurt Angle achieved more in his rookie year than what 99% of most wrestlers achieve in their entire careers. His rookie year was so fire that even MF Doom referenced it in a song. Looky here, it's just the way the cookie tear, prepare to get hurt and mangled like Kurt Angle rookie year. European champion, IC champion, king of the ring, and finally WWF champion, all while being one of the funniest wrestlers and best wrestlers in the company. Everybody was after him and his title, but now the deck was even more stacked. It was him versus 5 other men. Kurt Angle comes out and simply says, "Mick Foley, you have finally lost your mind." And let's be real, the WWF writers had definitely lost their mind. But shit, at least it was gonna be entertaining. Wait, I forgot to mention what match it was going to be. Yeah, so they're about to have a Hell in a Cell match, one of the most violent matches in WWF history. This was before everyone and their mom had a Hell in a Cell match just because it was the name of the pay-per-view. This was when everybody knew that the Hell in a Cell meant somebody was going to die. Careers were going to be shortened, and 6 WWF superstars were about to fight in the Hell in a Cell for the WWF Championship. On the next episode of Raw, we got one of the most iconic promos of all time. So Kevin Kelly is interviewing The Rock, and The Rock just tells Kelly to shut up, and he goes off for like 2 minutes just talking unprecedented amounts of shit against the 5 other men. He goes on to imitate them, and it was beautiful. "Shut your mouth, you thong wearing fatty. Rest in peace. But the personal favorite, he has to beat the game. And he has a $2 sled for a wife. And of course, the iconic, I did it for The Rock. Now, I would love to put the footage in here, but the WWE loves copywriting me, so I'm sorry. And then he puts on Stone Cold's hat and just goes off on him. This was prime Rock at its absolute best. This match was built in less than 2 weeks, and this promo honestly was all they needed. So throughout the night, Vince McMahon, the owner of the company, kept going to each one of the wrestlers in the match and basically begged them to not compete in the match. See, his reasoning was he was the owner, he makes money off these wrestlers, and if these wrestlers go into a Hell in a Cell match, they're probably all going to die, so that's less money for poor Vince. But it didn't matter. Rock, Austin, Triple H, Undertaker, they were all ready for this. They wanted this. So this led to Vince McMahon doing the State of the WWF address on Raw. So he's in the ring and he's like, only a sadist like Mick Foley can take 6 WWF superstars and put them in the most hellacious match ever. Vince looks like he's about to cry, and out comes Foley to defend his name. And Vince just claps him with the funniest line ever. So Foley gets in the ring, gets a mic, and Vince is just like, what brings fat ass Foley out here? What a legend. Foley says, if I'm sick and twisted, that means a lot coming from a man who kidnapped his own daughter. They go back and forth and all you hear is, out comes Stone Cold. He grabs the mic and he just says, Vince, I'm touched by the fact that you're concerned with my well-being, and then he just stuns Vince. The crowd goes insane. Vince is flopping around. Vince is dead, and Austin just walks out like a badass. Arrive, stun, leave. He's on the ramp, and then The Rock's music plays. The Rock comes out and they have a brief stare down, and The Rock goes in the ring. Stone Cold goes backstage. He's looking down at Vince, who just got clapped, but now it was time for another clapping, and The Rock begins to measure him. Vince slowly gets up, turns around, and boom, rock bottom. Vince looks like he just got shot. Rock is leaving, and then just when you thought it was all over, out comes The Undertaker. Taker and Rock have a stare down. Taker goes into the ring, takes off his glasses and his hat. He passes it off to Mick Foley. King is about to have a breakdown. He's so sad that his beloved Vince is dying. He tells JR to go in there and stop this thing. Vince slowly gets up and gets hit with the last ride. Bang. So it was clear. Rock, Austin, and Taker were all going to Hell in a Cell. But yeah, it was time. Armageddon 2000. The end. Think how insane this match is. The talent, the star power, the match type, the title on the line. A match that was never done before, and a match that has never been done again. Because of this match, we got to play those crazy Armageddon 6-man Hell in a Cell matches on the SmackDown games growing up. So shout out to this match just for that, if anything. But there was massive hype for this show. It did 450,000 buys. It got more buys than Survivor Series that year, so it was definitely a big deal. I mean, just look at the star power. It's the Attitude Era. The arena is full, signs are everywhere, wrestlers are getting insane pops, the entrance stage was simple, a huge screen and broken cars everywhere, and it was finally time to watch 6 men kill each other. Triple H comes out and JR says, the first opponent or the first victim. Rikishi comes out, and then Kurt Angle comes out. The pyro was blasting behind him, but he's not even posing. He's just staring into the cell and the ring because he's focused. Angle in 4 years went from the Olympics to a Hell in a Cell match. What a lifestyle. Undertaker makes his entrance, and this is the man who has been to hell many times. In the ring, they have like every referee possible. I'm pretty sure they probably called up WCW and said, yo, bring your referees out too at this point. The Rock comes out to a huge pop, showing no fear, just walking straight into that cell. And last but not least, Stone Cold comes out and blows the roof off the place. And this is where hell broke loose. So Angle was still waiting on the outside, and Austin just ran to Angle and threw him into the cell. The door was locked and it was on. 6 men in a Hell in a Cell. So everyone paired off to their Survivor Series opponents. Rock fought Rikishi, Austin fought Triple H, and Taker fought Angle. So Austin busted Triple H open by grating his face on the mesh, and he did it all the way around the ring, even having to step over other guys fighting in the process. Like 5 minutes into this match, it was straight madness. There were finisher after finisher, but someone was always there to break up the pin. It was just hype. You had so much talent, so many larger than life characters metaphorically and literally. Shout out to Rikishi's fat ass. The crowd was going nuts, and then out comes Vince and his stooges. So they bring a huge truck and there's a bunch of sawdust in the back, and they put on some chains and tie it to the cell. So first they rip off the door, and then Vince just screaming, "Bring the whole damn thing down, all of it." But then comes Mick Foley and Vince gets escorted by security. But the door was still open and the wrestlers slowly start going outside, and it got 10 times more extreme. So first Triple H and Austin are out, and this was when the Triple H and Austin storyline was huge, and Triple H put in a lot of work this night. He sold for Austin the entire night. They went all the way to the stage and they're fighting on top of the cars. Austin uses the camera as a weapon. He's bashing Triple H into the cars. Triple H is just getting destroyed. Rock, Rikishi, and Angle end up at the stage, so Triple H blasts Austin's head into the truck window. So Austin just got clapped. Triple H is like, finally, I can chill. But then The Rock brings Triple H to the entrance stage and they start fighting. So they're fighting on top of the cars and The Rock goes for the rock bottom on top of the car. Triple H reverses it and bam, pedigree on the car. It's straight mayhem at this point. Shout out WCW. Everyone is just getting clapped. Everyone is bleeding by this point. Austin comes back for revenge and he just slingshots Triple H onto the car, and Triple H's face just got smashed. So Angle and Taker are fighting by the announce tables, and Triple H at this point was just trying to do whatever he could to escape Austin. So this idiot had the bright idea of climbing up the cell, but Austin joins him. So Austin and Triple H are fighting on top of the Hell in a Cell, and it was insane. Triple H is stumbling, and then Angle runs up the cell to escape Taker. So now Taker, Triple H, Angle, and Austin are all on top of the cell. Just look at this visual. Look how awesome this looks of all four men fighting in the air like that. Austin hits Triple H with a stunner. Angle and Undertaker are fighting, but slowly Triple H crawls away down to the floor. But Austin was not gonna let him leave just like that. Austin ended up following him to the floor. So Angle and Taker are fighting on top of the cell, but then Rikishi finds his way on top of the cell. So then Undertaker hits Angle with one of the loudest chair shots ever. Like, this one made me cringe. But then Rikishi got the chair and for some reason thought it was a good idea to hit the Undertaker. Rikishi actually wanted to fight the Undertaker on top of the Hell in a Cell. Does he not know what the Undertaker does when he's on top of the Hell in a Cell? So Taker fought back and they ended up on the edge of the cell, and Undertaker is just punching him left, right. Rikishi tries to fight back, but Undertaker just grabs him by the throat and just shoves him off the cell onto the bed of the truck. Rest in peace to Rikishi. Now, was it as wild as Mankind dying or even HBK dying in 97? No, but he still fell off the cell. It was still a cool visual. Listen, not everybody has to die every time there's a cell match, right? And then, in the ring, we finally get our face-off. Rock and Austin, face to face. Two of the biggest stars of all time, just face to face, about to go at it. Just a nice little preview for their upcoming WrestleMania match that everybody knew was going to happen and that everybody knew was going to be epic. The crowd is going nuts. Rock and Austin start punching each other and they just go off. Rock eventually has him set for the people's elbow, but Triple H intervenes. So then Rock starts dealing with Triple H and they start fighting. But then Kurt Angle runs into The Rock, but The Rock grabs him and rock bottom. So Rock goes for the cover. Can he finally do it? 1, 2, but no, Austin makes the save. So Austin just grabs The Rock and hits him with a stunner. Boom, The Rock goes flying, doing his good old fashioned Stone Cold Stunner cell, where he looks like a fish out of water. He's just flipping everywhere. But Stone Cold does not care. He just sees Triple H and goes apeshit and hits him with the stunner. But no, Triple H reverses it into a neck breaker, and every single man in the match is down. They're all dead. You bastards, you killed the WWF roster. But then, wait, what? Somehow, Kurt Angle crawls over and gets his arm over The Rock, who got hit with a Stone Cold Stunner. 1, 2, 3. Angle survived. What a match. Was it a technical mess? Yup. Was it a spot fest? Yes. Was it hard to follow? Yes. Was it a 5-star match? No. But was it entertaining? Hell yeah. This is what the Attitude Era was all about. Wild ass matches, people dying, larger than life stars, crowd going crazy, JR and King wiling, finishers everywhere, overbooked mess. But it was perfect. Like I said, this was a match that was never done before and never done again, which is fine. This was perfect for its time. This is as 2000 as it gets. This is as Attitude Era as it gets. This is literally the Attitude Era in one match. How can you not love it? One of the coolest things is that you can see that this is where the idea for the Elimination Chamber originally stemmed from. It was kind of the same idea, but I guess it kind of got too messy and too wild, so they created the Elimination Chamber to have it more controlled and have it flow better. But nonetheless, this was just fun. How could it not be? Just look at the talent involved and just look at the size of Rikishi's ass. No homo. 5 of the biggest wrestlers of all time and Rikishi, and honestly props to Rikishi, he is a Hall of Famer, okay? This match was just crazy, man. Go out of your way and watch this match. Honestly, this is like one of those once in a lifetime matches. This amount of star power in one wrestling match, which is not like a tag match or anything, is pretty special. Definitely go out and watch this.